Ever walk into a room full of people you don't know and you just, you can just tell it's going to be a good time?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what we're looking at today.
Definitely.
That feeling of belonging.
Yeah.
We're diving into that.
Absolutely.
And we've got some really good material on Skål International.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of them?
I'm familiar. Yeah, it's a global network of, like, tourism professionals.
Yeah. And they seem to really get this whole welcoming new members thing down.
Right.
They have a whole deal. So we're going to unpack that.
Okay, great.
And see what they're doing. But I mean, it's more than just being nice, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, think about it this way. Like when a company like, say, Google brings on a new employee, they don't just like throw a laptop at them and be like, all right, figure it out.
Good luck.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. There's a whole process, right? Like onboarding, introductions, making sure they've got the tools and resources they need to actually do the job. It's an investment.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And so it seems like that's kind of what Skål International is doing, is they're really creating this whole process for their members.
Absolutely.
And I've got their materials right here, and it lists all these benefits, like understanding the mission and being able to use the organization's resources effectively. It's like they're giving you the cheat sheet for success.
It is, yeah. It's like giving you the tools and the roadmap from the get-go.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's huge, because when people feel lost or unsure, that's when they check out.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But when you give them that clear path, that sense of direction, they're much more likely to stick around and actually get involved.
So it's not just about giving them the information, it's about how you give it to them.
Exactly. It's about presenting it in a way that's engaging, that makes them feel confident, almost like they're part of an exclusive club.
I like that. An exclusive club.
Right. Because exclusivity implies value.
And you know what? And this actually reminds me of this other company, Zappos.
Oh, yeah.
They do the same thing.
Your customer service is legendary.
And it all comes back to how they onboard people. Like, they don't care what position you're in. You spend weeks immersed in their culture.
I've heard that, like, everyone does a stint in the call center, right? No matter what your job is. It's brilliant, though, because it creates this common ground, this shared understanding of what the company stands for.
It's brilliant, and it makes so much sense.
It does. And it pays off. People feel more connected, more invested in the company's success.
So bringing it back to Skål, the document that I have here mentions something about an attitudinal shift after orientation. What do they mean by that?
Well, think about it. You go from being the new kid on the block, unsure of yourself or the environment, to feeling like you belong, like you have a purpose within the group. Like a switch flips.
Like a light bulb.
Yes, exactly.
People come in and they're maybe a little hesitant.
A little unsure, yeah.
Maybe they don't want to speak up, and then boom.
Suddenly, they're raising their hand in meetings, they're volunteering for projects, they're connecting with other members.
They're engaged.
They're not just members, they're active participants.
That's huge. So from what we're seeing here, what makes for a really successful onboarding experience from your take?
Two things. Clarity and connection.
Okay.
People need to know what's expected of them. What are the goals? What are the rules? Where do they fit into the bigger picture?
Makes sense.
And then connection. You have to build relationships.
Right.
You've got to create opportunities for people to interact.
For sure.
Like mentoring programs or social events.
So it's interesting because we're talking like a global network, but this really does apply to any group, right?
Absolutely.
Like, even just think about if you've ever joined like a photography club
or a local gym.
Yeah, or like an online community.
Yeah.
Like, what made you feel welcome?
It's those little things. A friendly face, someone taking the time to show you the ropes, a sense that you're part of something bigger than yourself.
It's huge, and it's so important.
It really is. Because when we feel like we belong, we're more likely to show up, to contribute, to thrive.
I love it.
Yeah.
So next time you walk into a room full of new faces, pay attention to how they welcome you.
Definitely.
It might tell you a lot about how things are going to go.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving deep.